Today, we're diving into something truly special, one of Christianity's oldest and, you could argue, most powerful spiritual practices. It's called the Jesus Prayer. And the fascinating thing is, it wasn't born from some academic study. It started as a cry in the dark. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just start with the single most important idea right up front. This sentence is pretty much the heart of this entire explainer. It's a really bold claim from our source text, and it suggests that this prayer isn't just about saying a name. It's about invoking an actual presence. That's the core idea we're going to unpack today.
So where did this intense focus on one prayer come from? Well, for the author of our source material, this was anything but an academic exercise. For him, it was a lifeline. To really get this, you have to understand the starting point. We're talking about a profound crisis of faith, a feeling of spiritual death, followed by 6 long months of what he just calls darkness. This really sets the stage for a desperate search for something, anything real.
You know, what's so powerful here is the brutal honesty of it. This wasn't some pious, perfectly composed prayer. It was raw, it was spontaneous, and it was born from pure desperation, half in curse and half in faith. And that single, repeated cry, well, that was the beginning of everything. So how do you get from that desperate, personal cry to a defined spiritual practice? Let's break down what the Jesus Prayer actually is. Now, this is the full traditional version you'll often see in old texts. And it's a beautiful prayer, right? It acknowledges who Jesus is and our own need for mercy. But, and this is a really big but, according to our source, this isn't even the most essential part. And here it is, the crucial point. While that longer form is absolutely powerful, the author argues that the core, the real engine of the prayer, is the simple, relentless repetition of that one name. Everything else is built around that single word. So what on earth does ceaseless mean? I mean, that sounds impossible, right? But it's not about achieving some perfect, nonstop meditative state. It's about persistence. It's a prayer you keep saying whether you feel holy or sinful, faithful or full of doubt, until it just becomes this underlying rhythm of your heart. Okay, so if you actually commit to this ceaseless repetition, what happens? Well, the author describes this slow, profound transformation, a gradual conversion of the heart. And you can kind of see the journey laid out here. It starts with a simple, almost physical act, just repeating the name. Over time, that starts to change the heart. And that change eventually leads to this deep, inner silence where you move beyond words. And in that silence comes the ultimate realization that God alone is. This quote just captures that final stage so perfectly. See, the goal isn't just to keep talking forever. The whole point of repeating the name is to clear out all that internal noise, to empty your heart of its own frantic monologue, and to create a space that God himself can fill. Now, you might be thinking, hang on a second, isn't this just a form of mantra meditation? And according to the author, the answer is a definitive no. Let's look at what he says makes it fundamentally different. This comparison really gets to the heart of it. The author argues this isn't about achieving some state of cosmic consciousness. It's a humble, grounded cry. It starts from a place of acknowledging that we're broken and we need a savior, not that we're secretly divine and just need to realize it. And here it is, the single most important distinction. The power, the entire mechanism for change, is believed to be located within the specific name being used. It's not just any word, it is this one name. I just love this phrasing, being Jesus said. It's so active. The idea here is that the name isn't just a label. It is the presence and the power of Jesus acting on you. So by speaking the name, you're allowing that saving action to happen inside you, right here and right now. So after all this theology and talk about transformation, you might be asking, how do you actually start? And the real beauty of this prayer is in its radical simplicity. That's really it. There are no complex postures, no breathing techniques to master, no intellectual hurdles to clear. The invitation from the author is incredibly direct. Just begin. Start repeating the name, simply and gently, and let the rest follow. And who is this for? Who's most likely to feel drawn to this kind of prayer? Well, the author suggests it's for people who live in that tension. People who feel a deep calling to be good, to be holy, but are also just painfully aware of how often they fall short. It's a prayer for the striving and the struggling. So, to wrap up the how-to, we come right back where we started. The secret isn't complicated. The secret is the practice. Once you start, the key is to simply keep going, to make the repetition of that one specific name the constant underlying rhythm of your life.